Batman the Brave and the Bold. It is going to be an exciting day when we finally get to see James Gunn's vision of the Batman. And there is a lot swirling around about this movie. Leaks, rumors, confirmed news, people that are going to be in it, people that aren't going to be in it, and a huge twist being speculated that could change Batman on the screen forever. I'll unpack everything, and we'll talk about that later in the video. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one, and as always, guys, I read every single comment on every single video, and I read your comments on the last video, and you guys are excited about this. Welcome to the channel, Jimmy your Chaos. Today, it's the Brave and the Bold. The next big new DC Universe movie. Well, that one alongside with Supergirl, of course. Now, let's start off with what we know for sure. And the film has officially been announced by James Gunn and Peter Safran as part of the first chapter of their new DC Universe, titled Gods and Monsters. Now, Gunn himself has said this movie will introduce the DCU's Batman and his son, Damian Wayne, drawing directly from Grant Morrison's acclaimed Batman and Son comic run. There's no origin story here. We are going to be meeting an older established Bruce Wayne who suddenly discovers that he has a, I would say, 10-ish-year-old son he never knew about. And Damian has been raised to be a killer by the League of Assassins, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. So Batman is going to be juggling crime fighting and parenting. And he's parenting a little assassin at the same time. It's an awesome story run. Now, according to Gunn, Damian is a little murderer and assassin, and one of his favorite Robins. So you can imagine how wild that father-son dynamic is going to be on screen. I almost kind of wish they could do this rated R. I know they're not going to because of the bigger picture, but that would be a lot of fun. Now, film is being directed by Andy Muschietti, the director of It and The Flash, and he was Gunn's top choice after impressing with his Batman sequences in The Flash. Gunn and Safran officially confirmed Andy for the project back in 2023, saying there was really only one choice. Luckily, Andy said yes. Now, despite The Flash underperforming at the box office, there was numerous reasons for that. Muschietti is, at least for now, still attached to the helm of Brave and the Bold. In fact, Gunn recently squashed rumors by updating that a screenplay is in the works. He said, "We have a screenwriter who's hammering away at it. I'm very involved. I wish I had more news for you, but I don't." Interesting side note here. They're keeping the writer's identity secret for right now. They're trying to avoid putting immense pressure on that writer, which I totally understand. So yes, the script is being written right now, with Gunn closely involved in crafting that story. Now, crucially, this Batman will exist in a fully formed DCU. Gunn made it clear that this new Batman is separate from Robert Pattinson's universe and obviously separate from Ben Affleck's past version, and it's the first DCU Batman, and he's operating in a world where superheroes already exist. We know that from Superman. Now, Safran also teased that the extended Bat family will be part of this story from the very beginning. Characters like Robin, Nightwing, maybe Batgirl, maybe Oracle, or they're all on the table because they've been left out of Batman stories in theaters for a long time. I think that's a huge deal. Unlike past films where Batman was a lone wolf per se, this Batman comes with an entire family of allies. We'll likely see an established Robin history, Dick Grayson is Nightwing, maybe, and it's going to be a lived-in world, just like the Superman film. Lived-in world with superheroes, gods, and monsters. There's no release date yet, and it probably won't overlap with Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2, which is supposedly coming October 2027. They're not going to have two Batman movies in the same year, I don't think. So in short, The Brave and the Bold is in development, and it will arrive a bit later in Chapter 1. They want to get this right. We also already know that Superman 2 is being worked on. Now, billion-dollar question here. Who is going to be the DCU's Batman? Since this story features a seasoned older Bruce Wayne, a mentor father figure, we aren't expecting a 25-year-old Batman. The internet has been very opinionated with fan casting and rumors, as they always do, who could step into the role. So let's break down a few of the names that everybody keeps bringing up, and you guys tell me who needs to play this role. This is as important, if not more important, than Superman. Jensen Ackles is a big one, a longtime fan favorite. Not only voiced Batman in the animated Long Halloween films, but he's got that grizzled, world-weary vibe, I think, that could play this type of Batman who's been fighting crime for decades. He's in his mid-40s. Could definitely pull off that older mentor presence. And I like this one. I really do. Another really popular one is Alan Ritchson. I mean, come on. Physical powerhouse here. I mean, from The Reacher, from Titans. He's a mountain. He really is. He would be a huge physical presence as Batman. He actually did have a meeting with James Gunn recently, and he confirmed he met with Gunn and they exchanged words about Batman, but Allen also stated he doesn't think Batman is in his future. He did hint that while Gunn is a fan of his, they might have another DC role in mind for him instead. So it sounds to me like he's not going to be our Batman. But then again, he might be in the DCU mix for something else, and I actually think that's how this is going to go. This is going to sound silly, I know. I think he's too big to play Batman. I know we had our Ben Affleck brawler type Batman, and he would definitely be that brawler. This guy's massive. I think it would possibly, I don't know, I think it would rob the screen presence. You'd just be staring how big this guy was and not as much about the story or his character. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I don't think he's going to be Batman, but I do think he'll end up probably being some type of villain. Heck, he could be Bane for all we know. Then you have the Dark Horse candidates. You have talented actors who aren't really mainstream, and that's kind of how I want this to go. You have Brandon Skellner, best known for 1923, and you have Tom Brittney. And Tom Brittney was reportedly in contention for Superman at one point, so we know he's on James Gunn's radar. So casting a slightly less known actor, I think is smart. Let that character define the actor instead of the other way around this time, and think of how they did at the beginning of the MCU. I mean, think of how they cast relative newcomers for Superman and Supergirl. I think they're going to probably do the same for Batman. But then we have a couple A-listers, of course, veterans. There's always talks like Jake Gyllenhaal or John Hamm. They've got the acting chops, of course. They've got the charisma to embody Bruce Wayne's kind of gravitas. I mean, Hamm, for example, has the older, sophisticated vibe. I mean, Jake could bring that intense, brooding energy. Both of those would be good. Those would be very default castings, but I don't think they're going to go that way. I mean, no one has been named officially yet as Batman. And when they do, the internet is going to be set on fire. We know that. There's going to be opinions left and right. Now let's talk about a Bat family story here. Bruce, Damian, all of them. It's not a Batman solo movie. It's a Bat family movie. That alone is going to make Brave and the Bold radically different from any previous live-action Batman film. The core of the story is a relationship and conflict altogether between Bruce and his son. But they're going to have people surrounding them in that extended family. So first, let's talk about Damian Wayne. I mean, the new Robin in the movie. In the comics, I mean, Damian is Bruce's biological son, and of course, he gets raised in secret by Talia in the League of Assassins, basically trained from birth to be a lethal killer weapon, right? By the time Bruce meets him, he's 10 years old, incredibly skilled, like a little ninja assassin. He's also cocky, arrogant, violent. He's the kid that's been taught killing is just a means to an end. So he literally thinks he's the rightful heir to Batman's mission and sees any other Robins or proteges as competition to be eliminated. I mean, Bruce has his work cut out for him as a dad. This is going to be a volatile father-son dynamic that I'm really ready to see. Now, the rest of them, got Dick Grayson, right? The original Robin, now Nightwing in this continuity, maybe? I mean, Bruce is older, Damian is new Robin, Dick as Nightwing is out there, possibly Jason Todd, Tim Drake. They could all exist in this world. I mean, Barbara Gordon, perhaps as Oracle. Who knows? Batgirl, Alfred Pennyworth. There's so many different ways they can go with this. And I really like the fact that he's going to have an ensemble around him and he's not just going to be the lone character this time around. And then almost as important as casting Batman is who's the villain. It's not going to be the League of Assassins. Maybe they're part of it, but they're not going to be the big super villain, right? So who would it actually be? I don't know. Could be... I don't even know where to go with this. I know a lot of people want to see people like Man-Bat in there and stuff like that, but I don't know. There's a lot of theories out there saying we're going to get the Heretic. If you haven't heard of him, it was a character from the comics, essentially a genetically engineered adult clone of Damian Wayne. So that would be interesting. Still don't see it as like the big villain. I guess it could be the villain of the first film. It wouldn't be a big super bad that they would go up to. Of course, you always have the fan favorites, the Jokers, the Scarecrows, the Banes, the Court of Owls. I don't really know which way they're going to go with this, to be honest with you. But what's really cool is this is in the new DC universe, which means the Green Lantern Corps, the Justice Society, they're all operating in the background. They're all there. There was even an Easter egg, a roadside pointing to Gotham City in the Superman movie. He's not an urban legend. He's there. He's already established just like they are. So it's going to be interesting to see how they weave it all together, because eventually they're all going to meet and we're going to hopefully get the Justice League and all that's going to happen. But that's the ultimate goal of what they're going to be doing. So eventually this all has to come together. So there you go. We don't know when we're getting it. We're not getting it before Batman 2. I can promise you that. but I'm hoping the year after, so I'm looking at 2028. I know that's a long time off. Well, actually, it's not really. We're almost 2026 already, but it's going to be interesting. I think this is going to be a Batman story like we have not seen before. Let me know your guys' thoughts. If anything new breaks or comes up, I will definitely keep you posted, and I'll see you soon.